Algebra 2, we got the newest version here of the 7A summative review, so we got to make a new video. In class today, we talked about doing one of each one. Okay, I think we went with the hardest one of the fraction base, and then we did the easier one from the integer number base. Okay, so let's start down here with the easier one, but with an integer base. And you're going to need to kind of like make little sections for where to put your points for these problems. Okay. Remember that with exponentials, our points pattern is -1, comma, 1 over your b number, 0, comma 1, because anything to the 0 power is 1, and 1, comma b. Our b number is the one in parentheses that has the exponent. So our b number is 4. So we have -1, comma 1 over 4, 0, comma 1, 1, comma 4. And we don't have any left and right shifts happening out here. We do have a multiplier. So that's going to be -2. So that the front multiplier always goes, it's your vertical stretch, always goes to your y's. So we're going to take all those y coordinates times -2. So now my 3 points are -1, comma, -0.5, or -0.5, 0, comma, -2, 1, comma, -8. So we got -1, -0.5, 0, comma, -2, and 1, comma, -2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, tough to tell what we're looking at here when we just have these 3 dots. The other piece that's really going to help us out is the asymptote line. Exponentials have a horizontal asymptote line. And we didn't have any plus or minuses, so our asymptote line here is still going to be y equals 0, a horizontal asymptote. And I know that our graph kind of flattens out right along that asymptote line, and then it's going to take off with these dots. Okay, all of our exponential ones should have all real numbers on the domain. And your range is going to be limited, and it's going to be based on your asymptote line. Okay, my entire graph is under the line y equals 0, so my y's are all less than 0. Okay, let's slide up top, and let's talk about that 1/4 base on number 2. So we had -1, negative multiplier again, 1/4, x plus 2 in the power, and then plus 3 on the back. So our b is 1/4. And before we get crazy with that, let's think about what 1 divided by 1/4 would be. Okay, we're going to have to flip that, and it's going to be 4. Sometimes the fraction ones get confusing, so then I will just start with the 1, comma b spot. If -1, comma 1 over b is going to be confusing for you sometimes, and you're like, man, which one of these is end up going to be a fraction? Which one of these is the big number or integer value? Start with 1, comma b, because 1, comma b is whatever that is. So that's going to be 1, comma 1/4. So then now I know this one is the opposite. It's going to be -1, comma 4. If that helps you, great. If it doesn't, okay, 1 over 1/4 flips back to 4. So that's our first step. Okay, we have all 3 things going on here. Left and right, up and down, multiplier. Multiplier always goes first. So I need to take those y's times -1. So we'll have negative 1 comma negative 4, 0 comma negative 1, 1 comma negative 1/4. Then we can do our left, right, up, down shifting together. Remember, x's are always opposite, so this is going to be x minus 2, and our y's will be plus 3. Remember that plus 3 on the back for exponentials controls your horizontal asymptote. So our horizontal asymptote line is going to be up 3. It will be on the line y equals 3 instead of down there on 0. Y equals 3. Terrible handwriting. Okay. Let's take care of those points. So negative 1 minus 2, we got negative 3. Negative 4 plus 3, negative 1. 0 minus 2, we got negative 2. Negative 1 plus 3, positive 2. 1 minus 2, negative 1. Negative 1/4, 0.25, plus 3. I'll go decimal here, 2.75. So we got negative 3, negative 1, negative 2, positive 2, positive 2, negative 2, 1, 2, and negative 1 is 2.75, all the way up there, almost on the line. Okay, so we have that asymptote line there to help guide us. So this is going to be pretty steep, and then we flatten out right along the asymptote line. Again, with exponentials, our domain is all real numbers. And your range, this time we're at 3, we are under again, so our y's are less than 3. Halfway done. Turn the page. Even though it is the easiest one, I do want to look at number 5 because that is right off of the rubric, a graph a log with no transformations. So the log is the inverse of your exponential. So inverse means we're just going to flip our pattern. All the xy coordinates from that pattern flip. So instead of negative 1, comma 1 over b, I'm going to have 1 over b, comma negative 1. 0, 1 flips to 1, 0. 1, comma b flips to b, comma 1. And our b number is 6 in this problem. So we have 1/6, comma negative 1, 1, 0, and 6, 1. 1/6, so barely over any at all, negative 1. Then we have 1, comma 0, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, comma 1. Also part of the inverse process is exponentials had horizontal asymptotes. Logs have verticals. And to help remind you of that, logs are from trees. Trees grow up and down. Logs have vertical asymptotes. Okay, so we're going to be right there on that asymptote line coming up, and then we start to curve out and over. And now your domain and range pattern also flips. It also inverts. So before, the domain was all real numbers and the range was restricted. Now the domain's restricted and the range will be all real numbers. So on the domain, now we are just on this half for our x's. All of our x's are greater than 0. All kinds of bells right now. And then in class, I think we did one of the middle ones. We didn't do the toughest one. Saved that for you. Let's go down there and do number 7. Okay, so our B number this time is 2. So I'm going to have 1 over 2, comma negative 1, 1 comma 0, 2 comma 1. No multipliers. If we had a multiplier, we'd have to do that one on its own step first. We don't have a multiplier, so now we can do our plus minuses. X's are still opposite, so we're going to minus 3, and then the outside is still the same, y minus 4. So half minus 3, we got negative 2.5, comma, negative 1 minus 4 more is negative 5. 1 minus 3 will have negative 2, 0 minus 4, negative 4. 2 minus 3 is going to be negative 1, and 1 minus 4 is negative 3. There's our 3 points. Negative 2.5, comma, negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we have negative 2, negative 1, 2, 3, 4. And negative 1, negative 1, 2, 3. Okay, those 3 dots almost look like they're in a straight line. And maybe feel a little bit worthless. Like, man, I can't see what's going on there. Is this a straight line? I know these curves somehow. Okay, the other piece we're missing is our asymptote line. Remember, logs, tree, vertical. So it's not that number, because that was the number on the front side, so it has to be this number. And x's are always opposite, so this plus 3 is actually 1, 2, 3, a negative 3. Vertical asymptote, tree, log. And now I can kind of see what's going on. We're going to be coming in and following that down, and then if I go the other way, it's going up and out. So our domain is all x's greater than negative 3. I don't go smaller or less than negative 3. I'm over here greater than. And my range is all real numbers. All right, folks, there you go. You have your quiz, which is the same as the test. You've got this test review, which is the same as 2 tests. Should be ready to go. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll see you next time.